Hello, just a heads up, this video is a follow-up to my one about the first book of Arc 9 and will entirely be about that. So if you don't want to hear more about Changing Skies Book 1, this isn't the video for you. So in my previous one, I discussed the book's blurb and my thoughts on it, but there was one protagonist I couldn't think of much to talk about, since it involved a new character that we haven't met yet, Moonpaw. The official site has now posted an article about her, so we have a little bit more information to go on. It turns out that she's not the kid of Nightheart and Sunbeam, like many of us were thinking, but she's actually the kid of Thriftier and Nightheart's foster brother, Bayshine. We also now know what she looks like, and she has a very distinctive appearance, with a long tortoiseshell pelt, ear tufts, a half-black and half-ginger tabby face, and for the first time in Warriors, 2 different colored eyes. The reveal article explains that this is due to her having a genetic quirk, resulting in her being what's known as a chimera. This is when 2 embryos fuse into one early on, meaning that it's basically one individual with 2 sets of DNA, one from each twin that combine to create them. Now, I've read that the split face appearance with different eye colors can also happen with regular tortoiseshells, depending on their genetics, but honestly, I probably know about as much about cat genetics as the Aaron team does, so I'm not the one to ask about details on that. Basically, they say Moonpaw's a chimera, so I guess she's a chimera. Anyway, her appearance is very unique, and I definitely prefer when they give characters a standout appearance where you can tell exactly who they are just from looking at them. It'll be cool to see merch of her someday. As far as her name, that's something I didn't really comment on last time, but it did strike me as a bit odd that they chose Moon as a clan cat's name. There's only been one cat with that prefix so far in the books, and that wasn't really intentional, as this was originally something that they didn't intend to use in clan names. We were first aware of this when Vicky answered a question in the second Aaron chat with Wands and Worlds, which was in 2006 and before we saw any characters with that name. Will you ever use the first part of a name as sun? You'll notice that we shy away from using sun or moon in any names because these objects, particularly moon, have special significance for the clans. You might be interested to know that in the very first drafts of the series, Blue Star was called Bluestone, but we changed it because it sounded too similar to Moonstone. She then reiterated this idea in the 4th Wands and Worlds chat in January 2008. Was Blue Star the first name you came up with for Blue Star? No, actually. She started out as Moonstar in the earliest drafts of the storyline, but then I decided that no cats would have moon in their names because it should be reserved for the clan's special spiritual places, so she became Blue Star instead. However, we did see a cat whose name started with Moon, Blue Star's mother Moonflower, and Secrets of the Clans, as well as cats with the prefix Sun for the first time, like the leader before her, Sunstar. My guess is this might have been because Secrets was written by Tui Sutherland, and while she had been an editor for the books, this was her first and only Warriors books that she'd actually written, so maybe she wasn't familiar with that convention that Vicky had decided upon. It does seem like they're considering changing Moonflower's name for Blue Star's Prophecy, though, because in an Ask Aaron Hunter feature that used to be on the official site, someone asked who Blue Star's parents are, and she said that they were named Duskflower and Stormtail. That prompted this question in Wands and Worlds chat number 6 in 2009. Is the moon indeed sacred to the clans? They have the Moonstone and Moonpool, 2 sacred places where leaders of medicine cats may speak with StarClan, not to mention the fact that the full moon is the sign of the truce during the gatherings. So wouldn't it seem insulting to StarClan? And if not, implying a cat is an important figure when the cat is still a kid, the mother couldn't possibly know that, to give the cat the name Moon? Also, on the Warriors website, on the Ask Aaron Hunter, you said Blue Star's mother's name was Duskflower, yet in the preview of Blue Star's Prophecy, it's still Moonflower, which is correct. Interesting question. The moon isn't sacred as such. They don't worship the moon or believe that it has any special powers, but they do use it to mark the passage of time. The rest of the importance comes from the fact that it is a source of light at night, which must seem pretty strange to the cats. It illuminates the gatherings, a night when fighting would be difficult anyway because there would be less darkness to hide in, and shines on crystalline stones and still reflective pools where medicine cats can imagine StarClan gathering. So the moon has significance, mystery, beauty, but not actual power, if you see what I mean. Early on, we decided that the name Moon shouldn't be used by clan cats, not because it would insult StarClan, but because it would imply that a particular cat had more beauty and significance than its clanmates. In fact, Warriors trivia coming up, Blue Star was originally called Moonstone. However, a couple of references crept into her mother being called Moonflower, most notably in Secrets of the Clans. Although I tried to change this to Duskflower in the website Q&A, there was a general feeling when we came to Blue Star's prophecy that we should go with the name that appeared in previous books. So uniquely, and kind of by accident, Blue Star's mom is indeed Moonflower. And so, Moonflower's prefix was indeed unique among clan cats for the 21 years the books have been around, until now. I had assumed that the current story team had just sort of put that tradition of avoiding the name behind them and hadn't really chosen her name for any significant reason other than it sounded nice, but they actually did address this in the article. Moon is an unusual name for Warriors cats, but in Moonpaw's case, it reflects how special her parents, Bayshine and Thriftier, think she is. Moonpaw is a chimera cat, a cat who, due to a genetic quirk, has different colored fur on each side of her face, divided by a nearly straight line. As Moonpaw recalls in Book 1 of Changing Skies, her father, Bayshine, thought that his lovely daughter's face resembled a half-moon. So there definitely was thought and intention put into the name, both in and out of universe. The article also leaves her role open-ended, not revealing as to whether she's a warrior apprentice or a medicine cat apprentice. And when she was a kid, Moonpaw's unusual appearance brought unusual expectations. Many in ThunderClan imagined that she might be destined to become a medicine cat, or that her unique face might be a sign from StarClan. Readers will find that Moonpaw's wants are not all that different from other apprentices. She wants to figure out who she is and to serve her clan. But in Moonpaw's case, what other cats think about her may have more of an impact on her future than her own goals. Moonpaw's clanmates may be right that her unusual face indicates a cat who is destined to bring great change to the clans, but will Moonpaw choose the right path? So my guess based on this is that she starts as one role and switches, or at least considers, the other. Either she starts as a medicine cat because she thinks that's what she's supposed to be, but then realizes that she'd rather be a warrior. Or she does start training as a warrior, but then feels like maybe she's supposed to become a medicine cat because other cats think she's supposed to be special, and then she hears the voice that's mentioned in the blurb. Now as far as the voice, we still don't know any more about it, but the reveal that she's a chimera has brought up a new theory among fans. Maybe it's the voice of the twin that combined with her early on. Honestly, I don't see them actually doing that, but it's interesting to picture. The last thing I want to discuss is how they started the article. Some of our point of view characters, like Leafstar and Tawnypelt, are old favorites who have long histories among the clans. But we also wanted to introduce new young characters who would give readers insight into what the less seasoned cats are thinking. Our first young point of view character to appear in Changing Skies is Moonpaw. The way they phrase that, first young point of view character, makes it sound like there will be more young point of view characters introduced in later books. If that is the case, which I'm hoping it is, maybe they'll just add a character or two, like how Ivypool in Omen of the Stars and Thunder in Dawn of the Clans weren't point of view characters until the second books in their respective arcs. Or maybe it'll even change per book like the first 3 books of the New Prophecy. However they do it, I'm still hoping for WindClan. So yeah, this ended up being longer than I originally expected it to be, but even with the little bit of information they gave us, there's still quite a bit to guess about. I'm enjoying seeing all the fan art of Moonpaw so far, and looking forward to learning more about her when the time comes.